Welcome back, everyone. Today we are running through Lost Izalith. We'll probably make it through to another section as well, depending on how much of a pain in the bed of chaos feels like being today. So, if we didn't have the Favor and Protection ring, I'd be really excited to use the Hornet ring, because there are two human enemies that we could fight here. Because we didn't fight Kirk back there, back at the starting entry point for this, then... Sorry, losing my train of thought a bit. If we didn't fight Kirk back at the entryway, because we didn't fight him, we can't fight him up here. Man, I'm all about this today. Something about the audio doesn't seem quite right to me. Maybe that's just because I've been taking a small break from this game. Just a small break. Just a little bit. And, so yeah, this part really isn't that bad. Basically, you just have to know where you can duck in, where you can run away from those guys, which one of these statues is real. Shouldn't be that difficult to do. In here, there is the Soul of a Great Hero, I believe. If the detection would ever let us get up in there. And that should be worth, I think it's 20,000 souls. It's an awful lot just for a treasure chest that's... I don't want to say that easy to get to, because, I mean, getting here wasn't the simplest thing in the world, but it wasn't too bad to get there. And then the only other tricky part with this area is that there's a hidden bonfire back here. I could see where if you didn't make this trip, if you had to make this trip every time to get to the Bed of Chaos, it could get really frustrating. Oh. Got hit with some lava. But here's our hidden bonfire. That should reset the enemies. I would say, ordinarily, I'd be a fan of kindling. However, this is the Bed of Chaos fight. We're not going to need to worry about it. If Estus are a concern for us, then we're doing really well in that fight. I imagine that this is going to take several attempts to get through. Although, with the Great Shield, again, might not be too bad just because of that. The biggest threat that this boss has is basically just sweeping you, either killing you through massive damage that's really hard to block, or just by sweeping you off the edge. So the Great Shield should make it so we're able to keep some of our stamina up. Just kind of mess around with the controller, didn't mean to do that, but whatever. So yeah, if you have a good stability shield, then you might be able to get through some of her attacks. I'm not sure though if it will actually make it so we can live. And then the only other thing is that we're going to need to be quick enough to be able to move into that last section for her. So it'll be interesting. And up here we have a Daughter of Chaos, which is one of the human enemies. So we would be able to use the Hornet ring on her if we didn't have the orange charred ring, but we do. And that's all she wrote. We get an Izalith catalyst for our troubles, along with a decent chunk of souls. If you fight Kirk here, he is worth a ton of souls. It's enough where you should be able to get another level in. So we're going to go in with all of our gear. I think if I keep coming back, I might strip down. We'll see. But we're going to take the right orb, then the left orb, then we will fail several times on the body, I'm sure. Alright, so the first orb you get for free. And it's basically no trick, no gimmick. The center ring is where the ground does not collapse, so we should be fine just to run back on that. There you see, that is going to be the biggest problem throughout the fight, is just her little hand slaps. Let's work our way in here. I'm going to do the full 360 swing, just to clear out some branches for our escape. So, with that, this boss is 1/3 of the way done. And unfortunately, that was the easy third. So again, you can just follow this ring back. As long as she doesn't sweep us from behind, we're good on that front. The center area doesn't crumble ever, so we are free to kind of let our stamina recharge there. And that's the attack that's going to kill us. That little hand slap. As long as we stay on this ring, as long as she doesn't slap us while we're right here, we can get this second one. So then all we'll have left is the pain in the butt one. And we're just asking for her to do a fire attack here. Alright, 2 out of 3 orbs down. Let her stamina recharge. Get out of the way of that, which isn't a thing that's happening. Instead we'll just heal up. Alright. Okay, so we made it back to the center. So now comes the extraordinarily difficult part. So as you can see, those 2 hits easily capable of killing us if we aren't able to block. So we'll S this up. This is where the fight is going to start every time from now on. It's just dealing with these hands. I don't know what to do with her hands. And we were able to just drop right in. I'm shocked, guys. This fight never goes this well for me. And I mean, I say that as I get blasted with fire, sure, but I mean that could have been a lot worse. So then this is easier if you're a lot lighter because you can roll through these branches. You don't have to use an attack to break them. Fortunately, we've got the fat roll, so this is going to take a while. She might be able to get another pillar attack on us, which would, I mean, it's not ideal, but we're at the part that we need to hit. We have 2 Estus, so there you go. There's a Lord Soul. How about that? Let's even give it one of these, because that was pretty easy. Not every day you get to beat the Bed of Chaos on your first try. Not every day at all. So we just have to wait for the bonfire to appear, wait for our souls to show up, light it up. I think I'm fine with using some of these items just to level up. We will just chill out inside of her. Alright, and we'll put that into health. We still need 4,000 more souls, so won't be able to get the level up quite yet. So now we have some choices. I think let's go back to Firelink for right now. And the reason that we're going there is that way we can visit Andre again in order to level up our weapon. And by weapon I mean, haven't seen one on there for a while. We're actually going to be breaking down our Occult Club into a Divine Club +5. That is going to let us go through the catacombs. Strange that they're still there. Oh, and we can actually move that back to the Chloranthi ring now. What is our stamina? Yeah, we're 80.6 out of 81. So, Havel's ring not going to help us. We've already been spending our points on health, so not too worried. Only 2 Lord Souls left, and the DLC. Which I think I may tackle the DLC. Pretty bad at it, so might be interesting to do. I don't feel like taking out those guys. Just run past them. So the Divine Club is just to make it so the skeletons and the catacombs can't reassemble, because that makes that place 10 times more of a pain than it needs to be. And we could also be spending these souls on leveling up our armor some, which might not be a bad idea. It would allow us to get a piece that's currently at +4 to be at +5. We don't have anything there. Do we have any existing Titanites? We do. We have 2. So, I don't know. Might be worth it. And I was going to modify, and I was going to break down our Occult Club into this Divine Club +5.
so.
So we have the strength. It is going to shame our damage output. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll warp over to Anne Orlando. Oh shoot, picked the wrong one. I want to do Chamber of the Princess, but that's fine. And we are just going to use these souls to boost our armor a little bit. I want to go to Chamber of the Princess. So, let's see. If we take out these two guys and another one outside, and then the Dragon Bow Sniper, then we should be able to buy one more Twinkling Titanite. I'm not sure if I've really shown myself beating up on these guys. They're not too bad by any stretch of the imagination. Pretty much you just need 2 hits. If you can get the shield bash attack, then you can take them out pretty easily. Looks like we are going to deal with the archer simultaneously, which, I mean, it's not the end of the world. There we go, there's that. It is going to make it trickier to actually land a hit on this guy though, isn't it? Yeah, let's deal with that. I don't feel like losing all my souls because I didn't kill an archer. He should take approximately 1 hit. And just be consistent with the rest of what I've been saying, archer down. So now, actually, we might have this guy in a pretty good spot to be able to just cheese him a bit. So he's barely got any health left. As long as he doesn't push us off, we can get him for free. And then, I think, yeah, our buff wore out. That's alright. We need 2 hits either way, probably. And there we go. I think we need 8,000 souls per, so that would mean that we'd need to kill just a few more enemies in order to be able to buy 5 instead of 4. So I think we'll buy the 4, upgrade one of our gear, and kill enemies until we can get 1 more. I don't think it's going to push us into a new tier of armor if we do that, but still. Alright, so we will purchase item, Twinkling Titanite, buy 4, for reinforce armor, and between, we've got either the helm or the leggings. Looks like we're getting +4 out of the leggings, so we're probably going to go with that. There we go. So we need 16,000 souls in order to be able to +5 our leggings. Oh, we can one-shot those guys now, so that's pretty nice. So there we go, now we just need 8,000. Which I'll do at another time. And I am just going to go ahead and, because we've only got 151 souls, I'm fine with just using the dark sign here. All that happens is you lose your souls, so you're really not losing too much. Alright, so now we can sub out our big ol' axe for a giant club. Now let's see. I don't think that we have the endurance, so we might have to switch out our +2 helmet here for the sack again, so that way we can have both club and giant axe. So there's our +5 divine club, and we're going the wrong way. So let's turn around. We're going to head through the catacombs next. I believe, man, it's been a while since I've played this on this guy. Let me just check my items, actually. This should just be under keys. Okay, we do have the broken pendant, so we can just go to the DLC whenever we feel like it. I'm not sure if we'll do that before or after Seath. So these skeletons do not regenerate. So you are fine just killing them with whatever you've got. Also a large skeleton over there, but we don't actually have to deal with him because we are just headed down. Now, I was saying before it might be nice if we had the cast light sorcery. I'm just not going to worry about that. It's not a big deal. I mean, I've gone through this place enough times where I can't quite do it blind, but it's getting pretty close. Now this skeleton is one that we will have to kill with our divine weapon. And oh my god, that is just pathetic damage output. I'm so sorry, guys. I wish I could be putting up some huge numbers here. And let's see, I don't think that you can buff a divine weapon, so that's not an option. So we're just gonna have to deal with these guys the slow way. I mean, as soon as you take out the necromancer, then you can go ahead and kill them to your heart's content, but it's just having to kite them around. We've got the armor that would allow it, I guess, but you know, just they're behind you and they're always such a pain. It's just easier to break them the first time. And when we get to the boss fight with Nito, he is able to, focusing on what this guy's doing, Nito is able to resurrect the skeletons. He counts as the necromancer in that area. So really, we're just going to be in trouble if we don't have the divine weapon. Generally speaking, when we're fighting against him, we'll see when we get there, but generally speaking, when we're fighting against him, losing my train of thought, losing my mind. Sorry, guys. We're going to take out the skeletons first when we fight against Nito. There are large skeletons in the background. Just as long as you don't go into that area, you don't have to worry about them. He can kind of force you to make a move into that direction, but outside of that, you don't really have to mess with them. Now, as you can see, because we've got this giant armor, there is not a lot of damage getting through. Like, the worst that's going to happen here is the necromancers, we get bleed, the bone wheels, or we fall to a clumsy death. And we're just going to go ahead and chase him down. Maybe not. I guess we can go ahead and put on some club music. Put these guys in a little trance. That was a music joke. For those of you who didn't catch on. Alright, so those guys are down, so now we can continue to the next row of them. Not too concerned with the amount of health that I'm missing. Again, we saw that their damage output is not that much. And we cannot buff our weapon. We would be able to use power within here, but I think we want to avoid taking damage here, so we'll go ahead and just not. Unlike every other area of the game where we're fine taking damage, here we want to avoid it. Alright, so in this final room has a bit of a dick section, because there's this guy, and then there's that skeleton shooting arrows, and there's one that usually rolls into the wall like an idiot. That actually wasn't enough to take him out. Okay. Sure, why not? Oh yeah, that's great. Okay, so here we see why using the club is a liability. So as long as we use the R2 attack, we should be fine in here. Alright. Looks like we've taken about 50% damage here, so it's not too bad yet. Now I believe that necromancer accounts for these skeletons, so that... Oh no, it's a different one. It's the one past the bridge. So these ones will be coming back unless we hit them with our divine weapon. Which is fine. You know, this game, it makes a reputation on being difficult, but it would be kind of nice if the skeletons came back with less health after you killed them before they resurrected. That would just be great. If instead of coming back as fully powered skeletons, you only had to hit them once or twice, that would just make my life a little bit easier. But, like I was saying, this game is not... it's not trying to make a reputation on being an easy game to beat. We just took 1,000,000 hits from that, and it did no damage at all. This guy's gonna shoot fireballs at us. Which we're not overly concerned with. Alright, last skeleton. Oh no, that did at least 20 hit points. That is unacceptable. Hey, can I ask you something? Alright. That guy's down. Looks like along the line somewhere we picked up a humanity, which is going to be basically worthless, because I don't think that we're really going to kindle until we make it into the Tomb of the Giants. By that point, we're going to lose that humanity. The best thing that you can do in this game is manage your expectations, and I am expecting to die. You might even say, I'm prepared to die. That's a joke on the box of the game, which, if you played it or didn't buy it digitally, you would get. But I'm playing it on PC, so I bought it digitally, so maybe I didn't get that. Sometimes you can get lucky enough where these guys will just jump off the cliff. Today is not one of those times, clearly. So we are going to have to come down and actually deal with all of them. You can actually get to this guy. There's like a... It's not really a shortcut, because I think it takes longer. But if you're doing some fancy jumping, you can come up through that ledge and take him out. That's a good way if you don't have a divine weapon because you're a fool, to deal with the skeletons that are around here. But we do have a divine weapon because we are not fools. I don't know if they can parry our R2 attack. That's actually... This could become relevant, because these enemies are one of the few in the game that have the ability to parry. And I think even if they do, they're not going to be doing too much damage. Go ahead and take this chance to heal. Got us almost up to full, which is just what we want. Want to be using our Estus smart-like. Okay, so if you do some fancy jumping, you can actually wind up down here without having to go through that area. Oh, okay, Patches did just change the bridge. I'm like, did he just try and kill us when we're nowhere close? Because that would be pretty smart of him. So, here we hit the first bonfire of the area. Go ahead and rest up. I don't know, sometimes I kill Patches here, sometimes I do a live and let live. I think this time we'll go ahead and do a live and let live. So we'll just run up on here, and then he goes, oh, I'm going to try and kill you because I'm a jerk, and the bridge should turn. See, there he goes. Oh, what a jerk. He tried to kill us about 30 seconds too late, so as you can see, he's pretty easy to trigger. Doesn't make him, you know. And he says, oh, sorry, water under the bridge. And we go ahead and we just push right through him. Some of those canned animations are just a little strange. Alright, now on this bridge, there's a little gap to the right there. And if you jump on that, then you can go and you can pick up the scythe, and that is also where... I was saying before you can sneak up on the necromancer. Now, I don't know if we've taken out the necromancer in this area yet. You can tell by if they do or do not drop souls. Looks like that one did, so I think that we're necromancer free. There's actually a developer note here. You can tell because you can't rate it, so that just means that it's there for everyone, whether you're online or offline. Note will always appear. And the only reason that we're going over here is so that we can take on Dark Sun Gwendolyn later. And these skeletons are, they're not really messing us up. I was going to say that they're messing us up, but it's not doing too much damage. There should be a big one that drops down right about here. Hello! And the big ones do not resurrect, so we're just able to club them. There's our Dark Moon Seance Ring, which will let us enter the Dark Moon Tomb, which will let us take on Dark Sun Gwendolyn. I believe this is also... Is Tranquil Hawk a piece over here? Or is that somewhere else? Must be somewhere else. Now we got that guy taken out. That's good to note, the R2 combos. Haven't really messed with it too much. Got another humanity, but we did not get a skull lantern just yet, which is unfortunate, but I mean, it's also fine. So I'm kind of hoping that we can lure all these guys over here so we can just do that. And get a good old-fashioned 3-for-1. Looks like they still have an alive necromancer though, so that will slow them down. Alright, now that leads over to the Gravelord Covenant. We actually don't want to mess with this demon, so we're just going to ignore him and continue on our merry way through the stage. Now, usually there's a skeleton climbing up this ladder. Yeah, there he comes. And we're just gonna go ahead and fall down, apparently. I think... okay. There's another ladder over here. Go ahead, take that fall. Almost get ourselves killed. That would have been awesome on my part. And yet again, we'll just do one of those, get the whole crew. Alright, we do get a skull lantern. That is awesome. Basically, that means that we don't have to get kicked down the pit by patches, which is going to help out a little bit. It also means that we're going to get visibility at the start of the stage, which is going to help as well. Alright, one of the wisps took out the bone wheel, which is good for us. Now there should be basically a dozen other bone wheels and a black knight in this area. And there's a weird glitch where, yeah, they do that. They will just roll right on through that wall. Come on, do your thing. I'm fine with taking the damage just because it saves time. Don't have to go chasing them down. And now we should have a black knight somewhere. Means he's probably behind us. Yep. And we just have to backstab him. That should take care of all the enemies before Pinwheel, the hardest boss in the game. I'd say, let's see, if we do both of our buffs, we could probably kill him in one hit. If we just do Great Magic Weapon, it might take 2 hits. But then again, the gargoyles only took 3 hits, and I think he's got less health than they do. So we'll enter the fog, heal up, apply our buff, drop down, 2-hand it, run in, take him out, call it a day. Or we could actually heal once we land, because we will take a little bit of fall damage, and that'll help conserve our Estus. Alright. The elusive Pinwheel. He does make copies of himself, so you have to keep track which one's the real one. Oh, I forgot the 2-hand. That's why this fight's going to take an extra 2 seconds. Come on, you spaz. There we go. Pinwheel's down. And that gives us the Rite of Kindling, which will let us further kindle bonfires, and that also gives us the Mask of the Child, which I believe is the one that gives additional stamina regeneration. So actually, let's go ahead and do that over the other one. I believe that it stacks with the Chloranthy Ring. So, we almost have enough where we can level up again. And we are now entering the Tomb of the Giants. So I'm actually going to cut it off here. I will see you guys next time.